Bienvenidos a Juegos, Juguetes y Coleccionables, edición internacional. Nos encontramos ahora en Dallas, Fort Worth, en Texas, en los Estados Unidos, y vinimos a visitar una tienda que se llama Dallas Fort Worth Vintage Toys. Y aquí estamos con el dueño. Hi.
Hi, how are you? I'm Jaden Frost with DFW Vintage Toys in Dallas, Texas.
First of all, you got to tell us, where is your store?
It's in Carrollton, 2515 East Rosemead Parkway. It's Carrollton, Carrollton, Texas 75007.
Now, you have a great store. Now we will see it in the next few minutes. Now, how does this begin for you? How do you start with a toy store?
Back before there was eBay, I used to do the toy conventions back when they were really full, because now that people can order stuff online, they don't as much go to the shows. But I used to set up tables when I was a teenager in my early 20s, back in the 90s, and buy and sell like that. And then I got in the music business for about 20 years as a singer, and I toured, and then I lost my voice a few years ago. Told I may never sing again, so the only thing else I knew from before was toys, and I love this stuff. So I had this little storage building that was really small, and I had it full of toys. So I would invite people over from the Dallas Craigslist or one of those kind of things. I would invite people over to buy and trade, and then we decided to move into a small retail store in Louisville, which is close to here, but it was really small. And we outgrew that, opened a second place down the street, and then once those leases were up, we moved into our first storefront here.
Right. Now, you have pretty much all the lines. I can see Power Rangers over there, Magma's G.I. Joe, Ninja Turtles, Masters of the Universe. What would you think, or would you sell, is the most look for it item? I mean, the hot item.
You know what's cool now is that mostly now our customers are so diverse that almost everything sells pretty equally. I mean, you always sell your He-Man and your Voltron and your Thundercats and G.I. Joe, but it all kind of sells equally. So I don't know which one I think Power Rangers are starting to be more popular now because it's from the 90s, and a lot of guys from the 90s are now old enough to have jobs and families and buy the stuff back. But yeah, I think it's all pretty even at this point. That's why we have 80 genres of toys here. We buy most anything action figure related because we have so many people that come through the door that want different things. So we buy a little of everything.
So let's please show and tell.
Well, this front room here is kind of our main room. We have more rooms in the back, so we kind of like to put a little bit of everything up here, the best of the best stuff. We have some vintage Turtles on the card here, and we have some of the remakes, some of the classics. Kind of move along, have a little bit of G.I. Joe, got the 25th anniversary stuff that looks like the old stuff, which is great. Then we move along, they make so many of the different kinds, we like to have a little bit of all the different kinds. Here's He-Man classics.
Now I'm gonna stop you here. Sure. This is a playset that we never saw in Mexico, Latin America. We never saw it.
Yeah, I never saw it here when I was a kid because He-Man was my favorite personally, and I never even knew this existed until I was a grown-up.
Now this is the whole Eternia. I mean, it has
we have
the Serpent Mountain.
Mm-hmm. This would be the Snake Mountain piece, the Castle Grayskull piece, and this is the Eternia Palace playset. And we have all the parts in the back, just so they won't get lost or broken.
Now playsets are somewhat common, but we didn't have those in Latin America. I mean, I can see the Technodrome.
Should have an eyeball inside there too.
Yeah. Now Eternia, and I saw. Well, this is the new Castle Grayskull.
Yeah, that's from 2002.
But you have the vintage over there, right?
Yeah, we have a vintage one in the box still from I think it was the 82, 83.
Yeah.
So that one's really cool.
Okay, let's continue.
Cool. Here's the Commemorative Humans. Those are cool. They remade these about 15 years ago. They made them just like the originals in the same packaging inside of this other packaging here that looked really cool. Here's some more classics. They just have more articulation and, a little bit more for the collector. This is one of the most expensive one right here. I mean, she sells for a couple $100. Sorceress. I mean, this one's a hard one to find. They did that crossover too with He-Man with DC, where they did a bunch like that. The rarest one of that is Faker versus Bizarro, which is really cool. Here's some vintage Ghostbusters. These are the new reaction figures that they have. They just came out in the last year or so that are kind of made to look like figures that would have been in the 80s, which is really fun. Like, you know, they didn't make Back to the Future figures back then, but if they would have sold these really. I mean, these are great.
Yeah, and they kind of look like the Kenners, right?
Yeah, they do, and it all came from the Aliens remake here. You know, they kind of made these because this line was canceled because they were kind of too scary. But...
And that was the mold from the Kenner.
Yeah. And speaking of scary, I mean, Walking Dead. That's obviously a huge hit show here in America. I mean, it's one of my favorites as well.
Steve Austin.
Oh yeah, this is probably the oldest thing we have in here right now. We do a lot of 80s and 90s stuff. We buy 70s stuff, but we don't get a lot of it in. We only buy from our customers right now. And this from 70s. This is probably one of the oldest things we have. A-Team, and this Fortress Maximus is from the 80s G1 Transformer collection. This was equivalent to like the Eternia. It was available but hard to get. So this one's a very nice piece. Even up there, if you see, we have some old G.I. Joe and He-Man stuff still in the package.
Yeah, that Night Ranger.
Yeah, this is very fun. Very fun stuff. There's the new, last few years ago, came out with the new Voltron, like right there. That's in the package up there. That's great too. That's our superpower stuff right there. That was probably my second favorite line with superpowers. You know.
There's a Hall of Justice.
Yeah, because back then we didn't have internet, so when I was a kid, the only way we knew something was coming out is when you went to the store and be like, oh my god, there's a Superman figure that I've never seen before. You know, it was like always a surprise. This is probably the most expensive, coolest thing that we have in this store. This is actually COA'd from the movie Batman Returns. It's one of, I believe, 4 that was even in the movie. This poster was in the actual film.
How much is retail?
I probably wouldn't sell it. Just let everybody know. But if I did sell it, it would probably be worth about $1,200 to $1,500, or 2 million bazillion pesos. No, I'm just
Try five.
I don't really know the exchange, but I always hear it's a lot. So this is a cool little vintage section here. It's got a little bit of everything. Star Trek motion picture, Dukes of Hazzard, Indiana Jones, Robotech, Turtles, vintage He-Man. And this is vintage G.I. Joe, Mego. This is a fun little area right here. You guys can come through.
Yeah, you have MASH.
Please help yourself.
Good.
Oh, nice to see you. Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Big.
You have MASH, Bionic 6.
Yeah, this is a fun shelf, dude.
Bionic 6
Robotech
and Robocop.
Robocop. GoBots. Oh, remember these fake GoBots? This is what my mom would buy me that she thought when I was talking about Transformers, and she'd come home with this. I'd be like, I don't think so.
It's
Madre.
a bootleg.
Yeah, it's bootleg, basically. And this is an original Metroplex, and this is just the box, because some dude bought the Devastator out of the box yesterday because it was already open. He didn't want to buy the box, so we'll have to put that in there. Okay. And then horror section, which this gentleman here I haven't seen in a while. What's up, man? He's looking at this horror section. You know, Predator, Aliens, Nightmare Before Christmas, Freddy, Jason. You know, all that kind of stuff is awesome. This is our new. We call this our showcase room. Right here. I'll wait for your cameraman to catch up. Showcase room right here, which is basically all the loose figures that's very organized. You know, DC. You know, all this Batman stuff. We have WWE, and what else is here? Vintage He-Man, Classics He-Man, Turtles, Thundercats, G.I. Joe. This is a little bit of something for everybody in this room. We've worked really hard to make this room. We found these shelves at this place called IKEA here in Dallas that sell just a lot of stuff. These shelves are perfect if, you know, they're called Detolf shelves if you want to buy those for your collection. They're really good. And you can put the doors on them as like this. You know, keep your stuff dust-free and nice and organized. So we got a lot of movie stuff, Army of Darkness, we got Reservoir Dogs, we have Predator, Aliens. There's Shogun Warriors, that's from the 70s as well. Remember those?
Yeah, it's a Messenger.
Yeah, and it also had, you know, it was the same line that had the Godzilla that shot off his fists and all that for whatever reason. I don't know why he shot his fist off. And then more Batman stuff. One of our customers actually made this. And we also display customizers' work, like, you know, an artist, local artist. Yeah. So yeah, there's a Godzilla model. This is cool. Look how big this is to scale to that kid.
Yeah.
This is that Robotech SDF-1 Battle Fortress. It was a carrying case, but it's like 4.5 foot long. That thing is pretty cool too.
You carry your Robotech, your Mospeda, and the other one.
Yeah. Once you put them all in there, though, you probably, if you're a kid, can't carry it because it's too heavy. Because they were mostly metal.
Just to note, SDF was the name of the series, Super Dimensional Fortress.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Oh, look at this.
Oh,
this is the race. This is the set that never worked because it had a jump, and whenever you jump the car, it would just fall off. So,
and they say, yee!
But I loved it. Yeah, yeehaw! That's why everybody in Mexico thinks we're all country people. Everybody thinks
and they use the Confederate flag.
Yeah, this is our. This is like kind of just a showcase wall too. Just all kinds of cool stuff. Vintage Voltron. I mean, Wonder Woman, Deadpool. This right here, I would say, is the most expensive Marvel Legends Toy Biz figure we have, and it's the most popular selling one too. It's around $200 American money, and it's you know, that's like one everybody wants. Whoa. You guys can come on back. And then we call this our Great Wall because it has a little of everything. It just goes all the way down. And then my employee Andrew just made this wall this week. It's got, you know, bubbles, loose figures, a lot with their weapons and stuff. And it goes all the way down. We have He-Man, G.I. Joe.
Here's the first version of Sorceress.
Oh yeah, that's a very popular figure.
Sorceress.
Yeah.
Is this part of the Masters of the Universe, or was She-Ra?
Masters of the Universe.
This is Masters, okay.
Yes. She was Masters. And this last room here is our Star Wars room. All Star Wars stuff. Everything from vintage to modern, current stuff. This R2-D2 right here, I actually have the lid in the back. It's a Pepsi cooler that was signed by Kenny Baker. Oh. He actually signed it. I think he actually got inside this too. No, no, he signed it right there.
I remember this one. This was when the special edition re-released, right?
A Batman poster for no reason should ever be in here, but that's fine. That's our back room where we gamble and play poker and all that. No, I'm just playing. We don't do that.
There's no time. There's a lot of toys to play with.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a very fun room.
Star Wars is
hard to keep it organized.
It's such a great collection now.
Yes.
There's always the key figure, the hardest find to play, to find. What would you think that you have, is that piece of whatever you have here?
Well, we don't have any like rocket firing Boba Fett prototypes or anything like that. But
I mean, more for common people.
More for common people. You know what? I really like. We can see it back up at the front, but like I said, in here we have all this is full of only vintage figures from the 70s, 80s loose. There's Boba Fett, R2-D2. I really look at this, a bag of C-3POs. I think these are the most common right here that people really want. There's a Luke Skywalker with Thrill. But yeah, it's, you know, Chewbacca, the C-3PO, harness still. I mean, I really think these are the coolest things. We sell mostly, out of Star Wars, we sell mostly the vintage figures loose. We sell mostly actually opened items here, I think, because most of our audience and our customers are collectors, and they like to display everything and make dioramas and all that.
And have the collect.
Oh yeah, this was the knockoff collector case for G.I. Joe or Star Wars. This is so bad. Yeah, I used to have this too. They were a lot cheaper than the ones with the brand.
Back in the old days, where did you buy this? Because I'm quite sure this was not on
places like Kmart, all that had it too. Just like they still do now. You know, you'll see some knockoff stuff for current toys too. But you know, like a Star Wars case like that could have been like $12. You know, but this knockoff was like $5. Yeah. So you know, in the '80s were a harder economy. So you know, $12 was a lot of money back then. So
well, because we had in our market a lot of knockoff. We call it now bootleg. It sounds better, bootleg. But it was a knockoff, and we called it chafa. Chafa. It's the best description because it's a poor quality. But we couldn't buy those things in the retail stores. We had this like markets on the street. There where you can find those.
Oh, okay.
In Mexico.
Chafa.
Yeah, and they came with a like this.
Okay.
With a cardboard.
Well, I am being called back to the front so I can make me some money, but I want to thank you guys. Thanks everybody in Mexico for watching this show. It's awesome. These guys are awesome, and they spend a lot of money, so they're also really rich too. No, I'm just playing.
Okay,
so
well,
thank you so much.
Thank you very much for being here. Just one time. It's DFW
Vintage Toys. Check us out on Facebook.
Okay, thank you very much, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Keep shopping.
Oh, yeah. We will. Bueno, pues esto es Juegos, Juguetes y Coleccionables, edición internacional. Ya lo vieron. Estamos en Dallas Fort Worth Vintage Toys o DFW Vintage Toys.